Hey everybody, this is Jigsaw for webofcinema.ning.com doing my video review for Bioshock 2. Now, first Bioshock was released in 2007 and was developed by 2K Games. This new one, Bioshock 2, is developed by a new studio with the same company, 2K Marin. Now, people were skeptical about this one coming out, but let me tell you, it is a very good game. It is not as good as its predecessor. Bioshock is still one of the best first-person shooters in my opinion in the past decade, but this game is a great sequel. You play as a Big Daddy now, and you completely have no real connection with what happened with the old character, which kind of sucks because you'd kind of want to know what happened to him. But you pretty much escape Rapture in the old one, and that's pretty much it. Now, this one you're playing a Bioshock 2, you're playing a Big Daddy, and you're following your little sister. You're trying to find your little sister, Eleanor, who's been basically captured by basically a new uprising person, somebody who called Lamb, who she heads the family, which I guess is the name for all the splicers, and it's basically your job to find her and kill her and free the little sister you've been trying to protect. Now, over the game it does the whole morale system. You can save the little sisters as you go along, you can harvest them, and it doesn't have as much as a deeper impact as it may have had. I mean, it has one at the end of the game, but it's not as, you don't feel as connected to the world in this one as you did in the other one, mainly because it's an old one. The scares aren't what they were. When you first went to Bioshock, you had that great opening scene where the guy gets his the hooks right into him, and it basically he dies, and that was scary, and she like screams at you and jumps in the bathysphere and starts tearing apart. This game didn't have as many scares, which was really disappointing because that game was very creepy in the whole atmospheric mood. It's become more of an action game in this sense than a real horror action first-person shooter like the first one was. The plasmids are back. You get all the old plasmids you had. Not really some new ones, which was kind of disappointing. You have some new ones, but not really anything that stands out. You have your standard electric bolt fire, the bees, everything you really could want in that. And then you have the splicers. You got a couple new ones. You got one called the Brute Splicer, which is a big, like, Big Daddy almost style splicer, but he doesn't have a drill or anything, but he's basically like the Hulk, and he's very tough, and he basically is hard to take down. You have a new Big Daddy called the Rumbler, who's got a rocket launcher and miniature turrets he throws up. It's kind of disappointing, though, that they didn't bring more splicers in, because I feel like I'm playing the same game, just in a different shoes of a person. I mean, I guess that's good, but it'd be nice if they added a lot more variety. Weapons are different, which is great. I love the new weapons. I love the drill you can use. I love the rivet gun. It's really great. You have a new opponent now who basically tops the Big Daddies in difficulty, which is the Big Sister, which is basically the little sisters rescued in the previous game, have come back to Rapture to protect it, and they're basically tough as hell because they're 10 times faster than you and stronger than you, and it's one hell of a fight. It's definitely an adrenaline rush when you fight one, because you don't know when they're always coming, because you just hear a screech and it warns you on the screen that it's coming, and it's a very, very cool moment when you get to take down your very first one. You feel accomplished. Story once again is told through audio diaries. They actually implemented cutscenes once or twice in this, which was surprising to me because the first Bioshock really didn't have those. But it's really cool how they brought the cutscenes in, like the opening one where you see the Big Daddy fight off the splicers is really, really cool, and I really enjoyed it. The story is great, all the backstory is great to hear from different characters, and maybe from some familiar ones. You hear from Ryan, you hear about Fontaine, and this you hear once or twice about Atlas. I mean, the single player experience is a great package, and mainly that's why you're buying it. Now, the multiplayer is cool and all, but it feels more of a novelty. It's fun, don't get me wrong, I really like playing as it, but it's just something that's not going to hold you over. I mean, you can upgrade, you have a Modern Warfare style leveling system, you go up to 40, you can unlock plasmids, which are really cool because you now dual wield plasmids while firing, so it's really handy. You can use the plasmids in multiplayer while firing, and it becomes a very chaotic and fun environment, but it just feels like it's trying too hard to be other games, and I really wish they put more thought into the multiplayer. The Big Daddy, granted, he's supposed to be overpowered, but he's really hard to take down. Like, if you come across him one-on-one, you're just not going to win. It's basically a team thing where everybody has to converge on him. That's not a bad thing at all, but it's really cool how they brought the Big Daddy into it. They have a couple different game modes. It's really cool. Hopefully they'll be adding on some new maps and some new stuff. But Bioshock 2 is definitely a good pickup for anybody who enjoyed the first one and any first-person shooter fan. Bioshock 2 gets a 4 out of 5.